Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on air and online right now at Facebook.com/1210 WPHT.
Cory Booker, who is now the incumbent because he won the special election last year, who's running for Senate, and he easily is going to win. He's a Democrat. And I'm 32 years old. I'm from New Jersey. I grew up in South Jersey. And I'm looking at this guy. He probably will end up being, because he's young, he's probably going to be the senator for New Jersey until I'm in my 60s. He's going to be a lifelong guy. And what I want to know is I can't understand why anybody would vote for Cory Booker. He was a lawyer before he became mayor, and then that law firm, he said he quit with them, but apparently he must have stayed with them for a little bit because when he released his financial records, which you could only see for a couple of hours when he ran for office last year, because he's very transparent. They opened them up. You had to go to a hotel, the press. They couldn't bring cameras. They couldn't bring their phone. They couldn't take pictures. You had 2 hours. I forget what day it was, too. It was a day of the week where you wouldn't even really do this. So they get as little amount of people there as they could. And it found out that he actually made about $700,000 while he was mayor from the law firm that he supposedly retired from before he was the mayor. And they happened to get a couple of $1 million in contracts from Newark. He would fly around the country as a celebrity. He's a famous guy because of in Newark, and everybody liked him. He gives speeches, and he only gave the speeches so he could give the money to charity. Then when you looked at the financial records, the hour that you got to look at it, you see that 90% of it he actually did not donate to charity. So I look at a guy like that, and I don't even know what his skill is. And it's not just the fact that he's running for Senate. He's guaranteed to win. And because it's New Jersey, because it's all Democrats, he's going to be the senator for almost the rest of my life. Why in the world would you vote for a guy like that? 855-839-1210. AT&T, Verizon Wireless, free call, just push pound 1210. And this is what I can't understand. Because Democrats and liberals, for some reason, they will never, ever criticize their own people. Cory Booker's a clown. Now, I'll look at this, and I'm a Republican, of course, and I support some of the Republicans that there are, but there's a Senate race down in Mississippi. Thad Cochran, he's in his 70s. He ended up winning the primary. He barely won it. He actually lost it in the beginning because of some loophole that you had that 50%, there was a runoff. Completely corrupt. The people that were putting money into his campaign at that point, it was probably Democrat money. And I don't mean to make fun of the senator, Thad Cochran, but a couple of days after Eric Cantor, he's another Republican, he used to be in the majority of the House of Representatives, he actually lost his primary, and this was in May. Now, Thad Cochran, who's a Republican, a couple of days afterwards, he was asked about it, and he had no idea that it even happened. So I wouldn't sit there and support this guy. I wouldn't go vote for Thad Cochran, and I'm a Republican. I can't understand that with Democrats. That's what I want to get at. Why is it that they will never, ever, ever criticize anybody in their own party? Because here you have Cory Booker, who is going to be the senator again. He's going to serve probably 3, 4, 5 terms, maybe even. He'll end up on a vice presidential ticket someday, just because he's been there forever. And the guy's a joke. The guy's a clown. Why will Democrats not ever criticize people in their party? And I do want to say this. I know that I was a little bit tough there on Cory Booker, and I'm kind of going after him. So I would like to try and have some people on to talk about the other side of Cory Booker. So there's a man that I wanted to talk to be let's say, a character witness for Cory Booker. Now, there's a drug peddler in Newark, where Cory Booker was the mayor, that Cory Booker, he spent a decade talking about, doing speeches. He would get very choked up when he would talk about it because it was a very emotional thing. Now, the man's name was T-Bone. Now, T-Bone, you see, he actually tried to kill Cory Booker when Cory first moved to Newark. And Cory Booker, because he's so good with his words, he's so persuasive, Cory Booker actually, not only did he keep T-Bone from killing him, he actually had T-Bone weeping, and he was crying there. And then Cory talks about how they still see each other from time to time. He's learned a lot from T-Bone, and T-Bone has taught Cory Booker a lot. So I wanted to reach out to him and trying to get him on the show. But the only problem is I don't know how to contact someone that doesn't exist. And I'm not even making this up. You can't even make this up. As I tell the rest of the story, just pretend that if this was Republican, how much you would hear about this. Pretend that this was Ted Cruz, Rand Paul, Paul Ryan, how many times you would hear this story. And it wasn't just a throwaway line. It wasn't something that he did once. Cory Booker did speeches all the time talking about this T-Bone character. And it finally came up because people wanted to talk to him, and then other people were wondering, who is this T-Bone guy? It's his imaginary friend. Can you believe that there's a United States senator right now that has an imaginary friend? And I don't even think, to be honest with you, if you kind of look at Cory Booker, you follow him, I don't think that he's even making it up. Cory Booker is such a weird guy. I think he really believes that T-Bone exists. Why would you vote for him? And it's not just that has a chance to win. He's definitely going to win. And he's going to become a senator. And people don't realize how much power senators have. He's going to be one of 51 votes. So he gets elected, he'll serve a 6-year term. He'll be one of 51 votes that you need to be able to spend probably $22, $23 trillion with a T, how that's going to be spent. Fred, you're on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Hello, Fred.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
So my question would be, you're asking why vote for Cory Booker, but why vote for Jeff Bell?
The fact that a person is in the United States Senate and acts like an 8-year-old with an imaginary friend, you're okay with that? You think that's okay? You think that's a guy that actually should be voting on how trillions of dollars are spent or whether or not we should go to war? You think that Cory Booker would be good for that?
What I don't think would
Plus
be
the
good
fact that
for
he's a liar. He lies again and again about his financial statements, that he didn't work at this law firm when he did. And then the fact that, I do speeches because I just love to give money back to charity, and he only gave 10% to charity.
Okay.
Why would you trust the guy?
Okay, so my question would be, why vote for another
Here's what I said. I didn't say,
Hold
on a second. No, because here's what I said about Thad Cochran in Mississippi. I'm a Republican. If I lived in Mississippi, I would sit it out. I wouldn't vote. Why would I go vote for somebody like that? I'd be embarrassed to have that guy as a senator.
I'd be embarrassed to vote for Jeff Bell, who just recently came out saying that single mothers are the reason that single women are flocking to Democrats for their benefits. I'll vote for Big Bird before I vote for a far right religious person. It doesn't even make sense in this day and age.
All right, so what has Jeff Bell done that's been far right religious?
He commented on abortion being on
What did he comment about it? What did he comment about it?
In cases of incest, opposing abortion.
I don't even know if he said that or not, but
he did. He did. I just double checked on that just to make sure.
Oh, okay. And how would that actually come into effect with lawmaking? What would happen with that? Because when does the Senate vote on abortion at a federal level? When does that come up?
If that's the case, then why?
What do you mean if that's the case? Because everybody always wants to know their opinion. Do you remember the Obamacare debacle with the Supreme Court a couple years ago? Do you remember that?
Okay.
Do you remember that? Remember the story when it went? Why was it such a big deal? No. Obamacare. The question was brought up whether or not the Supreme Court was going to overturn Obamacare. So my question to you is, why would that be a big deal? If the Democrats and Obama could have just went ahead and overturned it and kept Obamacare, why would that be a big deal? The big deal is because you can't overturn Supreme Court decisions. So this is what I talk about with Democrats all the time. They always want to get into global warming, and they always want to get into global warming, and they say, it's settled science. I'm calling it settled politics, settled lawmaking. Roe versus Wade was 1973. That's 40 years ago. 40 years ago, they're still running on the same issue. They always do this. So now he's going to vote for Cory Booker, the man with an imaginary friend, the man that gives his old law firm big contracts, and he keeps receiving money from them because Jeff Bell says he doesn't like abortion. What does it matter? It won't have an effect at all in your life. It's absolutely incredible how much that argument works, that you have idiots being elected to the Senate. Cory Booker's a clown. He's a joke. He's an embarrassment. And this guy, he's in New Jersey. He's going to gladly go vote for a joke, an embarrassment to be a senator, a guy that's going to just be a rubber stamp for Democrats, give away ridiculous, out of control government contract after government contract, big green spending. Nothing will change. The guy has no original ideas at all. So 855-839-1210. I would love to know the reason that you're voting for Cory Booker. And then we have one, and basically it's a vote against Republicans.
WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. We're live and local. We're Talk Radio 1210.